let's take a moment to talk about the presiding judge, Judge Ural Glanville. Now, he has charisma in that courtroom. He's a no-nonsense type of judge, and he's not afraid to assert his authority. But we've also seen his lighter side. Take a look at this moment from Thursday.
Is there anything else at this point in time?
Your Honor, did juror number 39...
Yo, would you stay out of my business, Miss Lowe?
Oh, Will.
Stay out of my business.
Judge,
look,
I'm sorry.
I've been doing this a long time. Yes, I have, yes. And if you really must know, she's going to reschedule her appointment to the week of the King holiday. You happy? No, you're not happy. But anyways, that's the explanation you're going to get. I'm on top of it. Okay. All right.
All right. Brian Buckmire, our legal analyst, and litigator Richard Schoenstein are here with me to discuss. So is this normal behavior from a judge? How would you characterize the professionalism of this exchange, Brian? Is that what you normally see?
This is very normal. I think what people sometimes forget from all the trials that we watch is that oftentimes, especially judge and prosecutor, if this is a trial judge and this is a trial prosecutor who often shows up before him, they're seeing each other a lot. We also go to bar association events with each other. We also go out and have drinks at these events as attorneys, because judges are attorneys first and foremost. We have personal relationships with them. And so, yes, when the jury is there and your client is there and we're performing in this adversarial setting, that is not what you're gonna see. But I've also had judges be like, yo, Brian, come on now. You know you can't be making. And yes, we do have that kind of back and forth, jovial kind of relationship, depending on who the judge is and depending on your relationship with them, but it's never in front of the jury. It's always outside.
Yeah, right. I think, Richard, do you think that that could have been misconstrued either by the state thinking that the judge is upset with her, or by the defense thinking, you're being awfully friendly, Judge Glanville?
No, I agree with everything Brian just said. And also, when you're on trial, everybody in that room has a relationship together, right? Think about it. The judge and the lawyers are working together on something for months and have been for a long time before the case ever got to trial, because there are all these preliminary hearings and the like. So you do develop a relationship, and, you know, a judge may like all the lawyers on the case. No matter who he thinks is winning or losing, may have, personal feelings, and it's fine. It's fine. They can have a relationship. They can be human beings.
Exactly. It is fine. And I actually thought that by now the state and the defense would be human beings by now and would be cooperating, but they're still sort of attacking each other. So we'll see where that goes. All right. There are also definitely some moments where Judge Glanville gets pretty testy. Let's look at some of those moments right now.
Here's what I told you was going to happen. I've got a jury that's out right now that's being interrupted. And Ms. D. Williams, you should have made your motion or should have told me about that an hour ago or when you found out about it. Not hijack me at the bench about that. You did what you had to do, but I'm not happy about that. I'm not happy about any of this. Because this is stuff we could take care of before our jury comes in. And that makes you all, lessen your ability as advocates and lessen our ability for this jury to go ahead and get this case seamlessly. This is what I told you all was going to happen. You videotaped our proceedings. It was just a brazen violation of these particular proceedings. I told you not to. If you just left your purse in your pocket, you would have not even put yourself in this particular predicament.
Right, but there was so much going on.
That doesn't excuse your behavior, and doesn't give you.
I didn't hear every.
Madam, that does not excuse your behavior, and it doesn't provide it's an excuse for behavior, because there is no reason you couldn't have taken your phone and put it in your purse when we told you to do that, right?
Correct.
Instead, you took your purse out. You had to go through several manipulations to turn on the video feature for you to go ahead and videotape these proceedings. Is that right? It just didn't come on by itself, right?
Yes, sir.
So that's willful. Well, I'll put it this way. As long as you write it yourself and it is completed in the format as dictated, APA, at least 10 primary and 10 secondary sources, that will satisfy the contempt. I mean, I'm going to read it, and if I don't find it to be of suitable quality, you'll redo it.
But the other thing is, if you don't do it, the other option I have is to jail you for 20 days because it's not satisfactory. So I would suggest that you write it in a satisfactory manner.
You decided, well, hey, I'm not going to show up. That's why I'm annoyed. Do you get it?
Yes.
Okay. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to find you in willful contempt. When we start this trial, you're going to come for the first 5 days of trial. You can take leave, you can take vacation, whatever. So when this case starts, you'll come or else I'll jail you for 20 days. Choice is yours.
No, I'm just, please, just sit down, Mr. Sharp. Just sit down. Okay. Just sit down. Thank you. I've reiterated this time and time again about professionalism. I've tried cases in front of most all of you for a while now. And most courts, in fact, all courts give counsel the benefit of the doubt, and we give you wide latitude to try your cases.
Wow. So those were just a few of the moments where Judge Glanville had a short temper. Brian, do you think this sharp contrast between him having a short temper and also him being very friendly with the attorneys, is that something that's going to be hard for the attorneys? Are they walking on eggshells here?
I think it depends on the attorneys personally, but I would think that if a judge has a relationship to be able to go back and forth like this, then I would say no. Fortunately and unfortunately, depending on who you are, our profession as attorneys is not for the thin-skinned. I tell people that you are a shield and a conduit for the persons that you represent. And so if you are representing the state, then you sometimes have to take a tongue lashing for the better interest of the state. And most definitely, when you're representing someone in their rights, whether it be their liberty or their property or financial interest, you might have to do the same. And you have to have a relationship with a judge that is both professional in a way that if you mess up, you just got to take that tongue lashing. And if you have the opportunity to be jovial and make that joke, then you do that as well. But I think it's the nature of our profession that kind of steels us towards being able to do this.
Right. And Richard, my question for you is, do you think that the judge has anything to worry about? I mean, if Judge Glanville is too mean or too nasty to the attorneys, could that backfire on him? Could they say that it's an ethical violation or he's just not being fair? Could it get him in trouble?
Well, potentially, but I haven't seen anything that would rise to that level. I mean, I sign on to what Brian just said. I'll put it slightly differently. Getting yelled at by judges is part of our job. That happens all of the time, sometimes deserved, sometimes not so deserved, but it happens. It's part of it. And he is entitled to try to keep his courtroom moving and keep everybody abiding the rules, and that's what he's doing here. Now, he can't prejudice a party in front of the jury, but we haven't really seen any of that.
Yeah, we really haven't seen that. Brian, I mean, have you ever had a judge where it was so bad that you thought he could or she could be brought up on any sort of violation?
Yes, I've also been almost held in contempt of court. I've almost actually walked towards the holding cell, say, hey, if you're gonna do it, I'll walk myself there, Your Honor. But that's just the way that I practice. I can get contentious at times if I believe that the rights of my client are on the line. But in these situations where there are no jurors in the presence, where we're talking about the mistakes of what an individual did, I would tell myself as well as I would tell any junior attorney, take the tongue lashing. Make sure that you and the judge are cool afterwards, apologize in the most professional of manners, and ensure that it doesn't happen again, not because of how it affects you personally, but because of how it affects your client. Your job is to represent. It has nothing to do with you. It's not personal, it's professional.
Exactly. Yeah, that's how you keep it going in the courtroom, professional at all times. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to have more for you in the case against YSL in Atlanta, Georgia. Stay with us.